Title: HOA Karen used her master key to walk in on my teenage daughter. I let the DSC video evidence live. The knock came after midnight, not the kind you expect from a neighbor asking for sugar, but the kind that makes your chest tighten. Sharp, deliberate, and cold. When I opened the door, there she was, Karen, our self-appointed queen of the Homeowners Association. Her face was red, her lips thin, and she clutched a clipboard like it was a badge of power. "Your daughter's music is too loud again," she hissed, "and I have the authority to enter if I need to check compliance." I blinked in disbelief. "It's midnight, Karen." "She's asleep." "What are you talking about?" But before I could finish, she gave a smug little smirk, turned on her heel, and walked away into the darkness. I didn't know then that this woman, this neighbor, would soon cross a line that would make my blood boil, that would drag my family into chaos, and that would test every ounce of patience and faith I had left. For months, my teenage daughter Emily and I had tried to live peacefully after her mom passed away. Emily was 16, shy, artistic, and trying to find her place in the world again. She spent hours painting in her room, headphones on, losing herself in colors because real life had become too gray. But Karen, she seemed to have a problem with everything we did. The color of our flowers, the recycling bins not perfectly aligned, even the fact that I parked slightly off-center one night when I got home from my second job. She had filed 5 violations in just 3 months. Still, I tried to stay calm. I thought if I ignored her long enough, she'd get bored and move on to someone else. I was wrong. It happened one Saturday afternoon. Emily had been home alone while I was at work. Around 2 p.m., she called me, her voice trembling. "Dad, someone was in my room." The way she said it froze my heart. I told her to lock herself in the bathroom and stay there until I got home. When I arrived, her eyes were swollen from crying. Her room was a mess. Drawers open, her sketchbooks tossed on the floor, the smell of cheap perfume lingering in the air. At first, I thought maybe we'd been robbed, but nothing was missing. Instead, a single piece of paper lay on the desk, greater than HOA inspection notice, property compliance check completed, and signed at the bottom, Karen M. Dorset, HOA president. My hands started to shake. She had used her master key. I immediately went to the HOA office the next morning, fuming. Karen was sitting there, sipping coffee like she owned the world. "You had no right to go into my house," I shouted. She didn't even flinch. "According to our bylaws, if there's reason to believe a property is violating community standards, an inspection can be conducted at any time." "That's illegal," I said through clenched teeth. She smiled. "Then call a lawyer." And that's when I knew she thought she was untouchable. But what Karen didn't know was that I had installed cameras. After a few break-ins in the neighborhood last year, I had quietly placed security cameras. One by the front door, one in the living room, and one small one in the hallway facing Emily's door. That night, I sat in front of my computer, hands trembling as I opened the footage. At 1:42 p.m., there she was, Karen, letting herself in with a key, walking straight to Emily's room, pausing at the door, looking around, then pushing it open. She stood there for almost 5 minutes, rummaging through Emily's desk drawers. At one point, she picked up a photo of Emily and her mother and smirked. When she left, she wiped the doorknob with a tissue. I couldn't breathe. My daughter's privacy, her sanctuary, had been violated. I took the footage straight to the local police station. The officer on duty frowned as he watched, then leaned back in his chair. "This is breaking and entering," he said firmly. "Even if she's on the HOA board, that doesn't give her the right to enter your home." They filed a report immediately, but word spread fast, and the HOA board tried to protect her. Suddenly, Karen was painting herself as the victim. She claimed Emily had been vandalizing community property and that she entered to collect evidence. She even started spreading rumors that my daughter had behavioral issues. The gossip tore through the neighborhood like wildfire. People whispered when we passed. Some believed her. For the first time since her mom's death, I saw Emily completely break down. "Dad," she said one night, Why do people always think she's right just because she's loud? That hurt more than anything else. Then came the turning point. The district attorney got involved. I was called in to provide my statement and evidence. I expected a quiet review behind closed doors, but when I arrived, I found out something unexpected. The DA's office was holding a public hearing with the HOA board present. Karen was there, smug as ever, her lawyer by her side. When it was my turn, I stood before the room, hands shaking slightly. "I'm not here to argue HOA rules," I began. "I'm here to show the truth." I handed the DA a flash drive. "This is what your so-called HOA inspection looked like." The screen lit up. The video played. Every whisper in the room stopped. Karen's face drained of color as everyone saw her unlocking my door, stepping inside and walking into my daughter's room. When the video ended, the DA turned slowly toward her. "Mrs. Dorset, you have the right to remain silent." The sound of handcuffs clicking shut was the most satisfying thing I had heard in years. Karen was charged with unlawful entry and invasion of privacy. She eventually accepted a plea deal, community service, resignation from the HOA, and a permanent restraining order. But the real victory wasn't legal. It was emotional. A few weeks later, I walked into Emily's room. She was painting again, something she hadn't done since the incident. "What are you working on?" I asked softly. She smiled faintly. "It's about boundaries, Dad. How some people cross them, and how others learn to stand tall again." The canvas showed a door, half open, with sunlight pouring through, washing away the shadows inside. Sometimes justice doesn't roar. Sometimes it whispers, through courage, through truth, and through the quiet strength of those who refuse to be intimidated. And that day, standing beside my daughter as she painted her light back into the world, I realized something powerful. No one, not even a Karen with a master key, has the right to walk into your life and take away your peace, because some doors are meant to stay locked. Moral: respect and boundaries are sacred. When someone abuses power, truth and courage can turn even the darkest violation into a story of redemption and strength.